Today on Toy Geeks, we're going to talk about that crystal Skeletor from Mattel Creations, as well as a surprise pre-order release of the new Masters of the Universe Origins Castle Grayskull, and Super7 has unleashed another wave of those TMNT Ultimates figures. We're talking about all that and more today on Toy Geeks. Hey everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, is my good friend John. John, how you doing today, sir?
What's up? I'm good, Jay. How are you?
Woo! Doing all right, doing all right. It was one of those nights where you usually trade off putting kids to sleep, and I literally got my son to sleep like 5 minutes before coming down. So I apologize. There was not a fancy video intro for this week's episode, but just kind of ran out of time on that one. But still, I feel like the stuff that we have to talk about this week more than makes up for the lack of fancy video intro. Because, you know, sometimes when we're doing these episodes, you know, we kind of talk back and forth like, we're going to talk about this week, you know, but dang, I just felt like there's just so much stuff that kind of came out in the collection
of nowhere,
right? Like just nuts, just absolute nuts. So excited to talk about it with everyone today. Let's check the live chat. We got Brad Brooks in the house. Hello, Brad.
What's up, Brad?
We got PD Dubs. Heyo.
Heyo.
Mariano Chacon. Hello, all. Mariano still tortillas. Thing. KJ Smith.
What's up?
And Nightmare 10880. Hello, Nightmare. Good to see you.
What's up, Nightmare?
I guess it's getting into your season right now. It's the Halloween season. Perfect. Nightmares. But yeah, John, how's it going in your world? I feel like I haven't gotten to talk too much this week.
I know it was last week with Toy Guru. It was just like that was it, and we never really caught up after that. You know, it was a week.
That's good. That's good.
How about you?
Similar. But it was kind of crazy, like doing that interview with Toy Guru. And if you haven't watched that episode yet, definitely check it out. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a rush. You know, doing a like interview is tough enough, but like doing one live in front of people is a whole. But I think overall it went well. We got some cool answers.
Yeah, I think he's done enough. You know, sort of cold opening questions with random fans at panels where he's prepared to almost answer anything.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. But yeah, no, it was good. I thought some of the, you know, I've heard him interview, like I've seen him at Comic-Con many years. So I've heard him talk. I've listened to him on other podcasts, but there was still like new stuff that I learned, like the whole, like how they got Bill Murray's likeness approval. Like that was the first time I heard that story, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I had never heard that before.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, just like so much stuff. But it was a lot of fun. Again, that's what we did last week. Check it out. Yeah, it was cool. And hopefully the first of many special interviews that we'll do on the show over the years. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was. I've been catching up on all of his older podcasts of the Spectre Creative stuff.
Oh yes. I mean, Mariano's the same thing. I'm sorry, PD Dev said the same thing. I've been watching Spectre Creative since you guys had him on. Great channel. Yeah, it's kind of he does a lot of videos. Like I struggle maybe getting one or two in a week. He has one like every day, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it's all really interesting stuff. Really good insight.
There's a few I still want to catch up. I just seen today. There's one of why Castle Grayskull was called Castle Grayskull.
Yeah,
and I haven't gotten into that one yet.
Nope, me neither.
It's a major rabbit hole on the Spectre Creative.
Exactly. Making the best use of his quarantining for sure. Todd Smith says Toy Guru interview was fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I've done a lot of like, you know, interviews on podcasts and stuff, but it's always it's nice when, to your point, John, whoever you're interviewing is good at like answering questions, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a good conversation to be had. I think the key is, as long as we don't like interview people like the Chris Farley SNL sketch. Like, remember when you started Natty Collector? Was that cool? Daniel Calabrero or Caballero. Hi guys, I'm new on the channel. Do you guys think Mattel will make Eternia Origins? Oh, like an Eternia playset?
Whew. You know what? I think
that was your like big guess, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think let's get into that during the Mattel Creations panel.
Okay.
You know, discussion.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, after Toy Halls, we'll go Mattel Creations, then Grayskull, then Super7 Turtles, and then maybe anything else that kind of comes in along the way. But it's a great question. We will definitely dig into it today. Let's see, fire.
Did I see Shannon Griffin on there on the list?
That's right. Shannon's in the house.
What's up, Shannon?
That's a much older picture of Shannon. I feel like you're misleading the people, Shannon. You're still very handsome, okay? I'm just saying, I feel like that picture's misleading. Shannon knows I'm just messing with him. All right. And then Marina, I agree the Toy Gear interview was very informative. It was good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And you know, I have to talk to John with it after we record today, because literally like I jumped right into this. John kind of test. I think I sent him the link to jump on like literally 2 minutes before.
Yep.
But we might have another special kind of interview very soon if the scheduling works out. So I don't want to say anything without confirming with John first, but just be on the lookout. Maybe some more good stuff. All right. That's that. John, let's Luis. Hey Luis, good to see you, sir.
Oh, what's up, Luis?
All right. Let's get into it, John. What is your latest toy haul?
Oh, well, my first thing this week was I picked up the NECA Ultimates Trick or Treat Sam.
Oh, nice.
Get that guy because I'm a huge Trick or Treat fan. He came with he came with a jack-o'-lantern that lights up.
Does it light up?
Yeah. And then he's got another one that doesn't light up, that's just plain. And
is it a little LED light in there or something?
Yeah, it's got an LED light, battery in the bottom, and then it's just got a plastic sort of slip-on thing that goes in between the battery so you can shut it off, but it actually doesn't have an on switch.
Oh.
But he came with a bunch of alternate heads, hands,
yeah,
his candy bar, his treat bag of body parts or whatever he has in there. And then we already talked about it. You had picked it up, but I mentioned I wanted it, and I found the Kong, the NECA Kong, and it is awesome.
Isn't it so good?
It is.
It's the best.
I was on the fence of getting the Mezco one, but I think this just quenched that thirst.
Oh yeah.
You know? $30 over 80.
Exactly. And it looks fantastic. This is, we'll do a best of 2020 show at the end of the year. No doubt this one it's gotta be in a top 10 for best of 2020. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic, and obviously they probably made it, with the intention that this Kong movie was going to come out, which has been delayed, but it's really cool to get it. It's just a straight up Kong. It's not really tied into anything, which is cool, which I think makes it even more special. Yeah.
And then the other thing I got, I bought a lot of mixed turtle stuff, vintage, and there was a sandstorm in there, a nice sandstorm. His paint is in fantastic condition.
Oh, nice.
His waist twisting action still works.
Oh wow.
He's in good shape. And then there was a couple of the micro turtles on their bikes.
Nice. So there's the cycle. I love that.
The news one, and there's Leo on that, and then Tuned On with the Tuned On bike with the sidecar.
That's awesome.
And then there was some random other turtle, not great stuff, which it's not really worth wasting airtime. So that's it for me. Me.
Very nice. I feel like I had a really light week aside from pre-ordering the Castle Grayskull. But so but my first PulseCon exclusive, and I bought a few, but this one was the first one to show up. I was working on a video review of this, and then the Grayskull thing happened, so I made a quick video about that first. But so look, be on the lookout. But my Louis Tully Hasbro
Nice.
Plasma series came in. Hold on, let me switch the. Here we go.
See the Hasbro hand.
There we go. Got the hand behind it.
Now it looks like a proper Ghostbusters reveal. It looks good.
Yeah, I honestly like kind of preview spoiler alert to my review, but I think the head sculpt's fantastic, and the helmet actually works pretty well on it, which is nice. So yeah, I really dig it. The everything looks great, and when I'm comparing it to the Matty Collector one, which I thought was fine. I think it looks better. It's actually, it's short like Rick Moranis's. The Mattel one's a little bit taller. I just feel like this is a more accurate body shape, type, height, and head sculpt compared to the Matty Collector one. Even though I think the Matty Collector one's really good. It comes with the Matty Collector one comes with a lot more accessories than the Lewis's Tully's Terrible Night. And really, if I had to nitpick, it's really the fact that we're just getting the Vince Clortho Terror Dog again, and this figure, and that's it for what, $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. But the figure itself is actually a really good figure. So it's kind of continuing what I think, and no offense to Scott Knightlick, who was on last week talking about how he's really not getting the Hasbro ones because he feels like he already has them in Matty. But I really do think the Plasma series with the true scan technology for the head sculpts has made really fantastic figures. So
yep,
we shall see. But that's it really for me. It's kind of a light week. It's a busy week with work and life and stuff. The kids were out of town this week, and so it was just my wife and I, and it was the best. I lived life like you get to live, John, and it was anyway, but I love my kids, don't get me wrong. They're great.
You gonna have another?
Oh, I did see Luis got the NECA Back to the Future Ultimates. I saw those at Target. They started hitting our targets this week too, and I passed. The head sculpts just didn't really nail it for me. The Michael J. Fox was okay. I didn't. It's weird. Back to the Future is one of my most favorite movies, maybe like a top 3 favorite movie and trilogy of all time. But I've never been compelled to want action figures. I've always just been more about having a DeLorean time machine. Because maybe it's just because the characters are just like people, or I don't know, it's just Michael J. Fox. I don't know. There hasn't been, at least for me, like I always wanted to have the car, and I would, if I found some type of DeLorean or something, I would always buy that. But the figures never really drove for me. So and even still, I was like, well, maybe I'll get these NECA ones. And I was like, they just didn't. I didn't feel like I had to buy it.
Yeah, I went on a bit of a NECA hunt this week. When I picked up the Kong and the Sam, because I really wanted to find Gizmo, and in all the stores I went to, I didn't see any of the Back to the Futures. But I will say,
Gizmo. I didn't know you needed a Gizmo. I'll get you a Gizmo.
Yeah, I'm looking for one. Just the regular Gizmo. You know? But I noticed the Morrisville Walmart. They have completely redone their collector section. Whereas, a lot of the Walmarts, they're getting the NECA stuff, and they're sort of in like those long box sort of displays. But if you happen to go to the one in Morrisville at any point, like they've moved their Funko Pops into like 2 different sections, and they had everything that Target has now. Just that one Walmart.
Oh wow!
So the NECA section was out of control. They had all the Godzillas, all the Predators, all the the Pennywises, just as much as Target. So I wonder if they're using that as like a test store. Like can this succeed having a display as big as Target? for the collector stuff.
And that would make sense they do it there, because honestly, that one, you're the one that's off of like 540, that big one.
Yeah, it's like 540. It's close to the airport.
Yes. Yep.
And then like the 54 going between Cary and Durham, or more Raleigh and
really
Durham.
good toy section. That makes sense that if they would pilot a bigger NECA section at a Walmart, that would be it. Because I think for a lot of people, and probably here in the chat, Walmart's NECA section, you have to almost be at a super Walmart to have a good NECA section. Because if you're just a normal Walmart, you may have like one and a few pops in the collector section.
Yeah. That's so like what mine is.
Yeah, the one closest to me is like, that's like, I don't even bother because I know nothing's gonna be there. Let's go to chat. PD Dubs, I have that Sam fig, so good. You should check out the Mezco MDS Sam. It is amazing.
It is amazing. I do have that. The designer one. It is awesome.
PD Dubs, my pimp Daddy Destro should show up this week. It looks cool, but I am passing on it. I have a normal Destro. You can see him right there. But it does look really cool. I think it does look really cool. Mariano, his recent haul: Transformers WFC Earthrise RC, LCMM Black Ranger, and McFarlane DC Multiverse Teen Titans Cyborg. That one looks awesome. I hope they do all those things. TF Quintessence and Jumping Pit, Star Wars Clone 3-pack have finally shipped. Oh, that's good. That's good. Luis, I'm that guy. Buy all of Back to the Future merch when I see it. LMFAO. Again, I'm there. I have a hoverboard. See, I got a hoverboard, the Maddie one, and then I've got tons of Time Machine DeLoreans. I want to own a real DeLorean one day. I just couldn't. It didn't feel compelled to buy it. Maybe when you see him, John, maybe you'll have a differing opinion than I had. I was just like, I
don't know.
Got to check out the Morrisville Walmart. Briar Creek has nothing. And Briar Creek is always hit or miss.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. That is it for toy hauls. We need to jump into this because we got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about first things first. Let's go to Mattel Creations. There we go. Yeah. All right. Mattel Creations. And this kind of, I don't even know what to think about it personally. Like, it seems like Mattel is doing this art influence specialty website kind of thing. Like, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, maybe it'll be like their new Maddie collector or something. And maybe it'll still be like, maybe you have a different perspective of this than I do, but I almost feel like it feels like their own version of Galleries 1988, where you have these kind of boutique.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, art influence things, which I think is cool. I just don't know about the longevity of this idea, but it does seem cool. What's your take?
I remember when they talked about doing this, and I feel like it was a year and a half ago when they announced this, and then it was like all of a sudden it just appeared. There was no like build up. But I like you said, it's sort of an Gallery 1988, almost Mondo with the prints, and it's okay. So I think for the toy stuff, it's the prices are probably okay, but for the prints are super expensive.
Yep.
I think they're $75.
Yeah, $75 for this one.
And the Hot Wheels piece, I can't remember what that car is called. It was like the first car that they had done in Hot Wheels.
Old to the Bone Shaker.
Yeah, I think that was probably like spot on for price wise, because I think Mattel can gauge what they're going to sell a Hot Wheels car to the Hot Wheels collectors, the hardcores, because that's actually sold out.
Sealed in acrylic too. It's not just like, which is cool. I think that's neat.
Yeah, I think that was definitely expensive to make because of the way that it's made. Like that didn't pass through a major production line. I would say that thing was handmade.
Right? It'd have to be.
And if they made 1,000 of them or 500, I bet it's probably closer to 500 because it is sold out already. It's it's worth $75. And me and you being at so many of the shows around here, we see what Hot Wheels go for
Yes.
and how rabid the fan base is, buying
Mhm.
100 at a whack.
Yep.
But the Magic 8 Ball, nope. Like, who really cares? There isn't like Magic 8 Ball collectors that I've ever seen. I'm sure there's people that might want like the very first Magic 8 Ball in the box, on like a vintage toy shelf or
Sure,
something.
sure.
Um,
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's cool, but not $50 cool.
no.
I'd pay $10 for this. How much are Magic 8? I don't know. I haven't bought one since I was like 10, but like,
Yeah.
how much are Magic 8 balls? Like, aren't they like $10, $15?
Probably, but you can probably pick it up for like $1 at a yard sale.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I agree. That seemed way too high. The Barbie's cool. It's like the original Barbie.
Mhm.
I know there's Barbie, but like $75?
That's a little too spendy,
That's highway robbery.
And they didn't even give her rooted hair.
No.
Like I think it would have looked cooler with rooted hair. Like, okay, the plastic clear hair.
Yeah, like clear rooted hair. That'd be neat.
Yeah. It would just look like, like clear strands. But these prints, no way. $75 for that. Like, that's something that they sell on Etsy. Like I have some from Star Wars, vintage Star Wars ones that are original patent drawings that are just copies, and they're cheap. Like $10 on Etsy. So I could never justify spending that much on a print.
And this one, and probably one we're all curious about, interested in, is the Skeletor. And I don't know if you saw the post that I made on our Instagram, but the Crystal Pepsi, Crystal Skeletor. It's cool. Like I keep going back and forth and wanting it or not, but I'm just like $50. I feel like is too much.
I bought it.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
It's cool. I do dig it.
So
I couldn't bring myself to spend $50.
And so if you like read their little like description, like their story of it, and it says like in 1981 or 1982 when we designed Skeletor and had 27 points of articulation. Who's writing this? It had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It had 6 points of articulation.
Can you count those legs as articulated though?
I don't know.
Like really, like head, arms, and then
in the waist. Yeah. So who in back then, we've seen the designs on the original He-Man figure. He had like 1 point of articulation. But yeah, I bought it. And so this goes into my idea of when we had the question about in Eternia playset, could that happen? So I bought the Skeletor just to support this project of this website, because hopefully, a bigger project might be put on this site, like Eternia, where it might be like a HasLab, where, I think if Mattel said, all right, well, Barbie failed, the Magic 8 Ball failed, none of the prints really sold, but Skeletor, I'm assuming others are buying him, and the Hot Wheels car sold out. So I think they'll use that as a gauge to see, what could survive on this site. And, hopefully by people buying the Skeletor, it just shows the interest. That's pretty much why I bought it,
Fine, John, you've guilted me into it. I'll pre-order it. Or is it pre-order or the pre-orders mean it's already sold out and this is like the second run?
No, if you click on it.
Oh, it's sold. Okay, so it's still available.
Yeah, the Hot Wheels is sold out. That's sold out fast.
Okay.
But if you go back to Skeletor,
I will get the Skeletor because now I feel guilty that I'm not supporting the line. It's cool. I think it is really cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I think it's really neat. And even more so when you look at these pictures of it, because I like how you can kind of see the little joint connectors in it, stuff like that. I think that looks really cool. Like I think that's really neat. Like these little points and how you can kind of see how the innards work and everything like that. I think that's neat. But the part for me that's frustrating, and maybe because it's a smaller run, so it'll be more expensive to make it But when these are $15 at Walmart and it's not rare, which is nice.
Right.
The $50 price tag seems steep to me.
Yeah,
But
I'm curious what kind of the packaging this is going to come in. If it comes in something really nice that justifies $50, or I don't think any packaging will never justify $50 for this figure. But say if it was as nice as the San Diego He-Man Adam mini comic 2-pack, if it was like a book sort of nice display, rather than if it's carded. If this thing comes carded, I'm going to be pissed.
It's going to come carded. No, wait. It comes with no card back because
no card back. Yeah. They'll send it in one of those white tube boxes, like you got the Spirit of Obi-Wan in back in the 90s.
It'd be nice if they did some kind of cool, clear packaging that it kind of holds it in.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But I will say, like, it against a white background is kind of boring. I like the pictures of it behind like a black background.
Yeah,
because the things that I like about it is like the crystal skulls, or like Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Head Vodka, or something about like the crystal skull. I think is really neat. I think this kind of can fit in that realm. So I do really like it. I really, really do. But the thing for me was just I felt $50 was too steep. Like if it was $30, $40 even, I felt 50 was just like, all right, Mattel.
Yeah, and it's like 63 with tax and shipping to North Carolina.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And we're getting a Grayskull for $80 shipped.
I know.
So that comes with a figure with translucent wings.
And it's painted.
Oh man. Let's go to the chat here. Let's see. I was thinking this was going to be their new Matty Collector Hasbro Pulse. I as well. And to your point, John, maybe, some of the things are the things that are really successful, and maybe the other ones just kind of fall by the wayside, and it does become that. But I do think, and maybe it's for the better, because honestly, it's nice that Origins is just a straight up retail line because it's so reasonably priced, and it seems like they're going to be readily available. And honestly, like, while collecting Masters of the Universe Classics was great, it was, it's arguably one of the best collector toy lines of all time, and it's so well versed and everything. It was amazing, but the purchasing experience was a pain in the neck, and it was frustrating. There was just so many growing pains and bumps along the road that this Origins line is refreshing. That's just like, just go to the store and buy it, And I know it's not as maybe everywhere, but it's really gonna be hitting hard in retail. So, and especially like the Grayskull, it's $74 under $75, which is fantastic. So I don't necessarily know if I want a Matty Collector Part 2, but
right. I think if they did something, if they use this site, this Mattel Creations site for their Matty Collector, where maybe it's one item a year that needs to be crowdfunded, I think that's great. But if they went the way of like, all right, now we're going to sell waves of figures on here, I'm out.
Yep, agreed. Let's see here. Marino says, if you're into He-Man, the clear Skeletor looks interesting. Again, it looks awesome. I love the look of it. I really do. He also says, depending on what quality ink and paper used, $75 is not a bad price for a print. Again, I do get like nice, high quality, low print run, prints are, $75,
yeah,
$75. But I do have a sense of like, they're not that compelling to me. They don't look that cool.
Right. And they're not like a proven name like Mondo is. Like we don't know exactly what this print is going to look like, or how they're going to ship it. Yeah,
I almost wish. And Mondo has licensing for Masters, like they've done those 12-inch figures.
Yep.
10E23 says, hello, I'm late. Oh, you're fine. You come in anytime. Join anytime. And then Mariano says they'll package the Skeletor in a plastic bag and mail it in a medium-sized manila envelope. Again, $50. At least spend $10 on the packaging. Make it cool. Make it cool. That's all I ask. So, to your point, I'll pre-order the dang thing, but you have to pay up front, and I don't know. But it's still, it look like that shot just looks amazing. Like this thing looks really cool.
And if you look at the shipping date on it, it's almost deceiving because it says they can't ship any later than March 21st, I think. So they don't really have like a delivery date. It's just them saying we can't ship it any later than this day.
We'll see. I mean, and again, like talking to Scott and realizing that Matty Collector was very much just a passion project that didn't have a lot of support from big Mattel. Is this a similar story where it's really just kind of like a little team that is just kind of being scrappy and making something cool? Which is, again, is kudos if they're doing that, because I think they've made neat stuff here, but still.
Yeah. I think they should have went another direction if they were going to try and, do a collector something.
Yeah, I think this would have been a neat program with Galleries 1988 or a neat program with Mondo. But if they're doing their own in-house thing, I question their commitment. But we will see with time if they're truly going to keep doing cool stuff with this.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they did try this. Do you remember after Matty Collector closed, they had a website, the Mattel Vault?
Yes.
Where you had to pay, I think it was either $30 or $50 yearly subscription. And all that pretty much bought you was like a username and a password to buy stuff from the site. And all it was discounted stuff that they've had sitting around in warehouses.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
That was a major failure, but hopefully, Mattel is actually putting a marketing team together for this, because there was all of a sudden this site just showed up. I found the clear Skeletor on Toy Arc the morning it went up. I had no idea that this site was actually live.
Yeah.
So if they put money, into marketing and just getting the word out, hopefully it'll work. I do hope it works, because I want He-Man to be around for another 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. No, totally with you. Interesting. They have, again, kind of following the Galleries 1988 kind of formula here. They have something coming for The Shining later this month, as well as It. And then another Master Universe, Medsaki?
Medsaki? I don't know what that is. That's a first for me.
So again, it's early goings. This kind of came out of nowhere. The branding looks cool. I dig this kind of look. It's very artistic, and I love art. There's a lot of things that I enjoy about what they're doing here. We'll just have to wait and see how it all pans out. That's my last thoughts there. All right, let's go to the next thing here. The big reveal. And again, we talked about this on the show when it happened, and because that was kind of even when we did the PowerCon weekend, and we did our kind of recap PowerCon episode, and it was questioned in the chat when are you guys going to do a Castle Grayskull, and they were very coy, very non-committal, like even more so, like not a if things go well, we might have them, like not even giving us like that kind of answer. It was very much, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. It was like a maybe in 5 years.
Yeah. It was very kind of non-committal, which I found shocking considering how much they unveiled to us at PowerCon.
Yeah.
Like it was just thing after thing. The Masterverse line, the deluxe figures, the new core figures, like it was just a bunch of stuff. It was great. I mean, even little people. And so it was interesting. There was barely not even a bit of a mention of Castle Grayskull. And then, even then you talked about that leaked list from Grayskull Con out of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they'll just reuse a slimmed down version of the Classics Grayskull, which would be cool. And then this leaked image popped up. What, it was like a month ago, maybe?
Yeah, about. Yep. And
Which,
that was leaked from Germany, from Planet Eternia, the German site.
yep. And so that was like, okay, that's not the Classics Grayskull. That's new. So that's interesting. And really, that was only at that point, maybe 2-3 weeks after PowerCon. So I was like, okay, well, if they had this, why didn't they unveil this at PowerCon? That's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And on Thursday, and I think it was Wednesday, the social media team for Masters, like, we got a big reveal tomorrow, and everyone was thinking Castle Grayskull.
Yep.
Still,
well, they put out that odd pixelated picture of the Grayskull flag, which even still, when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know what that is. I was trying to look close to see if it was like something super blurred, but all it was, like, if I pulled away a lot, you know, I might have recognized it. But then I read the comments, and they're like, "Oh, that's the Grayskull flag."
Which I get same here. And between you and me, we've probably seen 100 Grayskull flags.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't peg that at all. Actually, let me pull that up, that image, because it was like super pixelated. Here we go.
Yeah,
I mean, knowing it now, okay, yes, I can see the sword there and the green and the orange.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I was like, is that Mario? So, you know, they said big news coming tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. Can you guess what it is? And then they announce officially their Castle Grayskull, and pre-orders were going up that day, and it was just crazy. It was absolutely crazy. In a span of a few hours, like, we went from leaked images, barely anything from the team at Mattel, and we've got pre-orders, we've got box art, we've got pictures of the play set. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was so blown away when I went on, you know, I just happened to look at Instagram, and people are like, it's sold out. And I'm like, what's sold out? Like, what? So then, you know, I go to the Masters Instagram, and I see the announcement, and then I go to Walmart, and I'm like, oh my God. And then of course it says, you know, it doesn't say sold out, or it just says no longer available or whatever. And it was like 9:31 a.m. And then I go back and I read the comments, and it said, and at that time it was Nate Birch. I don't know if you are familiar with Nate. He actually did a lot of the box art on this. And he said, I can't believe, you know, this is already sold out in a matter of minutes. And then Masters followed up and said, don't worry, you know, just keep checking back. So I figured, all right, I'm going to leave the Walmart page open, and I'm going to keep reloading it every hour and just see what happens. And then I think it was like 12:25, and then it was back up for pre-order. Like, oh, okay. And I put my order in. And then sure enough, it's still up for pre-order, I think.
It did sell out. It did finally sell out, I believe today.
Oh.
I'm kind of measuring by, so yeah, it is officially out of stock.
Okay.
But it did stay up for I think through yesterday. It was still available to order. So I almost feel like it had to have been a bit of a pre-order, or they're really making a ton of these things.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's coming out in March or spring, so maybe March, early April. And I mean, it was up, noon Friday. I think it went through most of Saturday. So they had to have made a ton of these things. But also, Walmart's pre-orders are god-awful. The Ghostbusters thing was terrible. I just got a delayed notification for the Wave 2 Masters figures that I was able to pre-order from Walmart. So who the hell knows when any of us that pre-ordered this thing on Walmart are going to get this Castle Grayskull. But at least I know I'm getting one, and maybe, you know, when these start showing retail, get one in hand sooner than whenever eventually the pre-orders.
That's what I think will happen too. to everyone that ordered this.
'Cause I will say, when I saw the little, it was a Bitly link. I click on the link and it showed Walmart. But luckily there was no. That's gonna come later when I get the delay notification from Walmart that it's delayed. Like,
with any luck, you'll just be able to get in the car, drive to Walmart, and pick it up. Because
exactly. So I really think they're gonna make a ton of these things.
Yeah, I think it's happening now. I went to 3 different Walmarts since Friday. Everyone had figures on the pegs.
Yeah.
The only thing that wasn't in was the Sky Sled and Atom pack and Battle Cats. But I think the initial shipments were all of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, anybody, if you missed out on the pre-orders, don't fret. I really feel like we're gonna have a lot of these. The one thing I'll say is kind of a bummer is that we didn't get or it wasn't ready for the holiday season. That's the only thing I would say is a bit of a bummer, just because it'd have been sweet to like have both my boys Zach and Alex really dig these new Origins figures. So it would have been a cool kind of Christmas gift, but still I think it's really cool. I'm definitely getting one for my kids to play with.
Yeah, that would have been cool to use like a vintage camera setting when you take a picture of them opening up the Grayskull on Christmas morning.
Yes. I agree. That'd be
awesome. That's what I'm going to do.
Where it'd be great is, and I have very few pictures of me with like getting toys, like holding up the box. But do you have a picture of you like holding up like and packaging?
There's a picture of me that I have. That it's a picture of me and my sister's sort of like standing beside me.
Yeah,
but it's like me with my entire Christmas haul. And there's like, Beastman, Mantenna. I think there's a Roboto. There's a Mr. T. I got a Fisto and Strider 2-pack. Nice. I think it was like the picture is just centered on me. Like, it feels weird thinking about it now, but it's loaded with presents.
Yeah.
And I'll have to scan that and email it so we can put it up.
Yes. Yeah. I think for sure. We'll have to do it like not a before and after, but like, that just you as an adult with like,
in like footy pajamas.
Yes. Oh man. But let's first talk about the artwork, because this box art is freaking awesome.
It is amazing.
Oh,
and it goes around both sides, like the flaps on the left and the right sides. The art continues around.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that image. Where did you see that image?
So Axel Jimenez, who was one of the other artists on the box art, he posted
on his Instagram.
His Instagram, yep. Oh, you went right by it. Oh, there's a few of them.
This guy?
Nope. It's geez. I think if you went to Nate, I think it's Axel Jimenez. He's got a
G or a J?
A G.
So it's this one.
Him. That's the guy.
Oh my god. I didn't even see these.
Yep. So the like Panther is on one side, on the right side. It's incredible.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
And there's some close-ups of what looks like glowing Skelecon figures, or characters. They're not figures yet, obviously. But I wonder if they're going to be like minions or something of Scareglow.
Oh, that'd be cool. Wow, look at that. It is stunning. The sorceress looks
It's
badass.
I mean, it glows. Like the art is unbelievable. Oh yeah, there they are.
Just unreal. Like every time I look at it, I find something new, and it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I'm hoping they do like a pack-in poster or something like that.
Yeah, and I hope the box is big enough to like I absolutely want one to open and one to keep in box just because.
Yep.
And again, I didn't realize it wrapped around. Like, look at that. Wow. Fantastic.
It's so nice. And for $75.
I know. And I was, because in my little kind of recap video that I made, I mentioned how, eventually it was like $400 or maybe $500 for shipping and everything. Because like the first pre-order, which I got for the classics version of Grayskull, was $250, right?
Yep.
And then $50 shipping. But then by the time
it was 300.
What's that?
It was 300. The very first order was 300.
Okay, and then eventually it was like $400, wasn't it? Like they did additional buy-ins or whatever.
Yeah, if you didn't pre-order but you bought it once it was in stock, it went up to 400
plus $50 shipping, wasn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, so I wasn't far off there. Yeah. So again, I think, and honestly, I think I like this artwork better than. And again, I think that classics one is don't get me wrong. I don't want people to like, write me death threats or whatever, but I love the look of this.
Well, the classics one, the art was sort of a takeoff on the original Grayskull art. Where this, the castle seems to be about in the same place on the box.
Yep.
But the rest of the art is different, because on the original Castle Grayskull box art, Beastman was fighting alongside He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Tila.
Trying to get a good, here we go. Good old He-Man.org, always old reliable. Again, I think it looks good, but it is not as good as this. Or
no,
this.
The new one is unreal. That is so nice.
Like that is beautiful. And it looks like the toy, like that, like this whole angle here. It looks like they just kind of opened up and set the toy there,
Yeah.
On the picture.
Yep. Like they just kind of like I took a picture of it and then used like tracing paper and then painted over that.
Oh, freaking love it. I love it so much. And all the, again, just Axel, Nate, like they just did a fantastic job.
Yeah. And Roy Juarez, that is the packaging designer at Mattel that worked along with them. It's me, Roy. Excellent job.
And then Nate did the colors, right?
Yep. And he does a lot of the pencil work and line drawings on the Super7 Ultimates, like the turtle figures.
Yes.
And the Thundercats. And he also does all the artwork for the Mythic Legion figures as well.
Oh, yeah, gorgeous. Let's check in the chat just for a second. So I feel like we've spent like 20 minutes just looking at the pictures. So good. So good. All right. Let's see. Just joined. Wow, it's sold out. Yes, it has sold out. Like just today it's sold out. But again, don't stress. Like I don't think it's a Walmart exclusive. If it is, they're going to, I assume, be in mass droves. And actually, no, it's not Walmart exclusive in 2021. So
no,
I really hope it's everywhere. And it all intent, from what I've seen, it will be. Jay, could you give your kids a printed order for Grayskull as a Christmas a la Star Wars? No, I won't do that. I'm really hoping for a Fright Zone and Slime Pit. Can you imagine? I feel like I would see that being before Grayskull because it's a smaller playset,
Yeah, me too.
What figure do we all regret buying that still hate and talk crap about it? Well, maybe we'll get to that. I think we did an episode on that, didn't we? Like
Yeah, I think we did.
buying regrets.
In the early days.
It's a whole episode of Toy Geeks. Pre-video live show Toy Geeks. Yeah, the packaging is very well done. That's from Mariano. All Music Fan 88. It does look amazing. Pre-orders by April, so that means this will be available in store by January. It's from Solo 619er. Hey, listen, the Walmart pre-order system is absolute garbage, and I don't work for Mattel or Walmart, so I can just say it's terrible. It's been awful. Hopefully it'll get better with time. The more maybe I just don't think it ever will, because I don't think Walmart cares. They don't care about.
No.
Even after talking to Scott Knightlick, we're like maybe that much. Toy sales are 3% of retail sales, and then collectors are maybe 20% of that. So,
yeah, when Walmart sees a toy pre-order, to us it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to have it. But for them, it's like the equivalent of when somebody orders their groceries online from Walmart and throws in a bag of baby carrots. Like they're like,
yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah. Yep. All Music Fan 88. The box art looks better than the product, though, to me. Haha. But that's masters, like the art is what like sparks the imagination.
Oh yeah.
And Marina, oh yeah, I also got the Star Wars Carbon Freezing Chamber playset. It's been getting a lot of flack, but I'm really liking it. Hey, like I think for what it is, that set is a good set. It just, when we've never gotten a Cloud City, it seems a little lacking, I think, is if you had to complain about something about it. But all right, so let's look at the actual play set. The thing that's interesting about the pictures that they showed is that there's kind of differing looks. So we have this one right here, and let me see if I can actually get a better look. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I do have pictures of it, which might show up bigger on the screen here for everyone at home. Let's see, share screen, application window. There we go. All right. So the interesting thing is this one has a lot of paint deco on the door. And other ones do not. So like if we're looking at, let me just do the entire screen. That way it's easier. I believe it's this one. There's no paint apps on there. So like which is the real?
Yeah, which one are we getting?
Yeah.
And that one,
this one,
the green is completely different as well. Like the one on the left, I mean, that looks like original Grayskull green. And the one on the right, that's a little bit too blue. And I mean, even the brown on the door, the brown is a completely different color.
Yeah, this looks painted brown and this looks plastic brown.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. Like the paint apps here look a lot lighter. Again, there's no detail here.
I mean, I'm really hoping the door comes painted, with the silver details and the paint apps.
And then we have this one where it's a lot darker, even darker than what we saw here. I like this one the best. Yeah. But I feel like it's least likely that we're going to get this version.
Yeah, that's definitely the paint master.
Right? Yeah.
And I wanted to point this out because only a few people noticed this. When this first released it was really mostly on Instagram going around. I don't know if you can zoom that picture in at all.
Which one?
The one on the right. Yep. But it says Fortress. They left the R off of Fortress. The Fortress of Mystery.
Yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. That's a boo-boo.
Yeah, that's definitely the first mock-up. So I'm willing to bet that that's the paint master, that gets sent
Yeah.
to the factory. That the rest will be based off of, as close
Mhm.
as possible.
Yeah, and again, it'd just be interesting because it's like three. This, yeah, for sure, it's not going to be this one.
No,
Soon.
no,
But these are like two completely different gray skulls.
yeah, the one on the right looks um like Imaginext,
Mm-hmm.
and the one on the left is hopefully what we paid for.
We shall see. We shall see. The accessories, I like the bigger ladder. I think that's cool. The little training wheel thing.
The battle trainer.
Battle trainer, thank you. The flag is a lot smaller. That's a bit disappointing.
And
This little
that thing,
rack. Go ahead.
what is that?
This, it's like a little weapons rack. Remember we saw that in the
Yeah,
leaked images. Oops.
it almost looks like it would hold shields or something.
I think even in this picture, I believe, is it this one? Yeah. In this one, they have the little mace sitting on there.
Okay, all right.
And then we've got the weapons rack, which is a lot smaller than the vintage one, and even more smaller than the classics one. And then the kind of laser cannon, it does look a little bit smaller.
The laser cannon looks like what stays most true to form of the original.
Yeah. And again, you got the translucent wings of the sorceress. And then again, I mentioned it in my kind of quick recap video, but the head sculpt looks really soft.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's I kind of like, even with these joints and stuff, this is clearly a prototype. So we'll see how that looks in person. Another thing about these images is we got kind of our first look at the retail She-Ra up close, which is a lot more like yellowish gold plastic versus the PowerCon one looks more like legit gold.
Yeah.
On all of these pieces here.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's just injected molded, plastic gold.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get super detailed.
I believe the PowerCon one is rooted hair versus this one has sculpted plastic hair.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, I feel like I'd like the plastic better than rooted, to be honest. But
yeah, because I mean, after dealing with like vintage She-Ra figures in the rooted hair,
really ratty.
Yeah, it was good the first time out of the package, and then after that, it's just all
like
over
the
place.
Barbies with the buzz cuts. All right, and then let's look inside this thing. Let's check it out. Now, this is the exact same image from the leaked image that we saw.
Yep.
And I think it looks good. The proportions, again, seem a little bit weird. Like, I've seen people saying it's about the same height as the original one, which I could kind of see that. But the proportions are definitely different. So, like, these areas up here, and again, who put the battle trainer up there? But, like, it's cool they extended it over here in this kind of tower. So you actually have a shelf right there and there. I think that's a neat add. But it does seem a lot thinner or smaller to me than the original one. What do you think what do you see in your eyes here?
Yeah, it looks more narrower. Like the overall width of each section looks a little bit more narrow, side to side.
Yeah.
I can't really tell if the flags are plastic that are hanging off of there.
It is hard to tell.
And the computer thing, it reminds me of like if you went and looked at the classics version of the robot, it kind of looks like its face. The computer panel.
Interesting. I didn't even think about it. Like this thing?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't even think about that.
And then we got that extra little computer sort of thing to the left of
next to the robot
throne. Yeah. Yep.
So do you think we'll get a robot figure?
I don't know, because I mean, it seemed like that was, just sort of a throwaway thing, like they put it in the classics version because there was a stand-up cardboard from the first one. but what was really the story behind it?
Yeah.
You know, because I always sort of thought, like, once I heard, like, all right, Queen Marlena or Captain
Mhm.
Glenn came from
Yes.
Earth in a spacesuit, like, in my mind, all right, like, that's her spacesuit, and they keep it in Castle Grayskull. But then she
Mhm.
came with her own spacesuit with, like, the glass sort of face dome,
Mhm.
that looked a little bit more astronaut-like.
Yep.
So I never realized what the point of that spacesuit was in a, you know, in a castle fortress in the woods.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. But I hope they do make is that's what's kind of neat about mini comics era, like pre-filmations era Eternia, because it's this everything's gone back to this very kind of savage uh
Mhm.
barbarian life, but there was this very advanced technological society that lived on Eternia, and it's kind of neat thinking about these, maybe how we look at pyramids today, but in their time there were these advanced things that we just don't even understand today. And
Right.
that's how they would kind of look at these different contraptions that would be in Castle Grayskull. So that always sparked my imagination as a kid, and I think I love those appointments. But I love that these are like real plastic editions here, because it's very much all what they did with the classics version.
And it looks like the trapdoor might work as well.
Yep, because it has a little slider there,
Yep.
and it's there. The elevator looks good. There's a metal rod in the middle here, which I think is a design improvement. When I'm
Mhm.
thinking about giving this to my kids, like, that's a problem. Like the shells will kind of fall off because they get warped and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's a really solid piece of engineering right there. And then another thing that I like that they changed is these little clasps.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Just like the classics one.
Hmm. I think that's a great addition. People have mentioned how the dungeon sticker looks smaller. It does look smaller. I don't mind it being a sticker though, because that's what the original one was. And
Mhm.
again, I'd love to see what customizers do, because there was that custom one that you could get for the classics
Yep.
dungeon that looked really cool. So I think it's neat. And then I think the elevator, it looks like an improvement. Like, it looks like there's this little roller here and stuff like that. Like, I feel like the elevator might work better too, which I think is neat.
Yeah. And the platform itself looks pretty true to the original. It's
Hmm.
just, upgraded design. And they put
Look
a
at that, the
screw.
foot peg hole. Look at that.
Yep. And then and rather than just having it, like, press in to the body of the castle, it's actually screwed in at the top.
Yes.
So when you pull on the string, you don't pull the entire thing off.
And again, people are mentioning, like you mentioned when we first saw the leaked images, this little extra space here on the bottom.
Mhm.
Curious to see how that plays out. Is it just a thing to make it a little bit taller, or will it allow for like expansions to the Grayskull? And I hope that's the case.
That's what I'm hoping for too. Because I mean, the original one just went to the
Yep.
ground. It was
Mhm.
like a flush
Yep.
surface. So
Mhm.
hopefully, or if they did like a play mat, like the prototype, the Mark
Yes.
Taylor prototype, the original one was supposed to have.
Mhm.
That would be cool too.
That'd be amazing. And a lot of questions too around, could this accommodate a Point Dread?
Hmm.
And it's hard to see here, but something that I do find interesting. And again, I have a vintage one right here, still from when I was doing that video the other day. But on the vintage one, this tower that the Point Dread hooks up to, it just falls off. There's no like extension
Yeah,
of
there's no
that
backside
tower.
to it.
But here, clearly, we have an extended ledge, and we have the tower come around the back too. So it's kind of twofold. So that's the one thing I do find, and even here, like the lip of that tower comes up over the top of the helmet
Oh,
of the
yeah.
skull of Grayskull.
Almost like a little step,
Mm-hmm.
like for it to continue to Point Dread, and it's on the other side as well.
Yeah, right there. So I'd be curious to see how they do it engineering wise. And then this little lip kind of right here seems like something, this part right here,
Mhm.
that to me looks like that little ledge right there, that could be like where it clicks in or something like that. That little piece.
I bet we'll get a point dread and
Right?
Talon Fighter.
But again, compared to the vintage, like nothing beats the vintage, right? Nothing ever will. Even while I do think the classics is probably the most perfectly conceptualized and realized version of Grayskull, it's just nothing's going to beat the vintage because that's what you grew up with.
Right. Yeah. The classics one is the one that you thought, when you were a kid, like it's this big.
Yep.
But when you get older, you're like, oh, it's not that big. And then you get the classics one. It's like, this is huge, but it still doesn't make up for that the nostalgia feeling of the original.
T Ponder says, "What is the wooden bird statue?" We've already we did cover that a little bit, but here it is right here, and it is a weapons rack of sorts. And in the original, they had an additional like cardboard paper weapons rack.
Yeah, it was just like a shield with crossed swords on it, sort of.
Yep. And it never set up right. It always would like fall over. Like it's kind of pointless. So that's what I think that's supposed to be. It is a weapons rack because even in the other images, they see like weapons sitting on it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed that the weapons rack isn't like fully loaded like the original. There's no. I mean, maybe it'll come with a shield, but there's no shield. There's no pistol.
Yep.
There's no. There's the halberd, but there's no spear or the extended axe, whatever that thing is called. So
there's only room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons. Because these little nubs that also would hold weapons are not able to hold anything. Because if you look at the other things, they're actually like little like clip-on.
Yep.
Thing, which is a design improvement. Because the other one was just kind of like it would hang there, and I have a complete vintage one, and it like a slight breeze blows by, and the whole thing falls over. So it is a design improvement, but it is smaller and less full featured.
At least they made it brown, the color of wood.
I've seen orange wood, haven't you? Oh man. So yeah, great stuff. Nitpicks aside, I'm really pumped for it.
Yeah, me too. A year ago, I wouldn't have said we would be having this conversation.
Right?
Not at all. Not even considering He-Man back at retail, and successfully as it is.
Yeah.
And another thing we haven't talked about, just real quick, when this stuff was leaked, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was a wholesale list for the stuff that was included in this coming wave, whether it's March or April. Hordak and Stinkor were also on that list.
Yes.
In the Origins line.
And we knew they kind of hinted about Stinkor because he was on the back art of the Land Shark, I believe.
Yep.
But Hordak wasn't even hinted at or anything.
No, and now they've this morning I seen they did like a shadow, outline of upcoming figures, and it was Triclops, who was the fan vote winner from his mini comic appearance, and then Hordak was right next to him, and then Ninjor, which we already knew about. So there's no reason to believe Hordak isn't coming. But just the outline itself, it was the cape, crossbow, and the silhouette, and it looked identical to a vintage Hordak.
I bet you they do a slime pit. Oh, and if they bring back slime, woo, it's gonna get lit, y'all. As the kids say. T Ponder, and this is the last thing I kind of want to touch on here. I'm still really confused why they didn't reveal this at PowerCon. They had to have had it. I'm shocked. Maybe they're waiting the artwork.
No way they didn't have this ready to go.
Huh? Yeah. People would. I mean, again, people are excited now. It was a crazy kind of reveal, and the internet, of toy collectors was like, oh my god, another Grayskull.
But
yeah,
I think maybe they unleashed so much stuff on us from PowerCon that they don't want to be like, all right, pump the brakes.
But Grayskull?
I know. But this week was New York Comic Con.
True.
So maybe they were saving this for New York.
You're right. You're 100% right. I didn't even think about that. Yep, that's 100% what it was. But still, you knew New York wasn't going to happen for real.
Right.
Anyways,
right, yeah.
It's still not going to nitpick it because I'm excited it's here. Excited that I have it pre-ordered. Hopefully, it's a better pre-order experience than all the other Walmart pre-order experiences that I've had. But we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. PD Dub says, I like to get this and fill it with Monster in my pocket figs. Have they brought back that yet? It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter.
I'm not sure. I think somebody's doing them customs.
They better make sure this line goes everywhere it can before they get to the good stuff. Yeah, it's funny. All Music Fan and I are kind of chatting across that Grayskull video that I did, and he's in Chicago, and it hasn't been as widespread there as we've seen in Raleigh and outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, and a lot of other places. I think PD Dubs has 7 end caps that are completely full of figures. So it's interesting. It's still not as perfect, but again, give it time. And T Ponder's saying what I said earlier. Yeah, Wave 2 pre-orders got delayed, which is. So I got the Scare Glow. This is the European card back variant. And since I'm an opener, I don't care. So glad I have it. Even though I do want to get another carded one, the American carded one, just so I can have one to keep boxed. Because again, I don't even want a carded vintage one. That's too much responsibility. I don't want that. I don't want that heat. I have a vintage complete Scare Glow, and that's stressful enough. I don't want a box one. But I do have another. I got one in Canada, an Orko figure. So that'll be, I think it's coming this week or something like that. So I have another review on another Wave 2 figure. But the ones I got in the US, they have been delayed, which is a pain in the butt.
It makes you wonder how do these other countries get them so fast?
It's just a weird distributing thing. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Damned Ash says Origins is amazing, but in all honesty, I really hope that they keep the Eternium Minis line going for a few more waves. I have the She-Ra and Hortrooper, and I need a Hordak. Did Hordak ever make it into like when Matty Collector did these minifigures?
Nope.
No?
Nope. The She-Ra and Hortrooper 2-pack was the last thing to come out. And it didn't actually get mass released in the US. It was produced, and then the line got canned. So that 2-pack actually didn't come with like a builder part, because the others came with the builder mini Grayskull. So when that went on sale, like I found it on eBay, I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a prototype because I'd never seen it before, and it was like $50. So I bought it from someone in China, and it got here, and I was all excited. I'm like, oh, maybe this is like a one of a kind, or it didn't get trashed.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, a couple months later, they were everywhere on eBay for like $15. But Hordak was supposed to come out, but the line just kind of went the same way as Matty Collector.
Yep. So yeah, I do hope it kind of goes on. I mean, I think all of this stuff, and they only unveiled those 10-inch Imagine X He-Man figures, but we have to expect they're gonna make like the little Imagine X figures for it, and maybe another Grayskull for that. But Todd Smith says MOTU reaction will look great with this Grayskull. Also need more Super 7 MOTU reaction. I don't think we're getting any more Super 7 MOTU stuff, right?
Super 7 doesn't have a license anymore. It's back to Mattel.
It's donezo. Even though the reaction stuff was fun, this I love a lot more. I think this is like light years cooler. Amazon had wave 2 pre-orders up a few weeks ago. I thought only Walmart had the rights to 2020. And yeah, it must just been that first wave because wave 2 was put up for pre-order on Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm. I think they can technically start shipping on January 1st. So they can be in Amazon warehouses. They just cannot distribute them yet. So they can be paid for them, but they can't distribute yet.
Gotcha. But I'm sure Jeff Bezos could be like, sorry, Walton family.
Ship them.
Jay, are you seeing the Prince Adam Sky with Sky Sled in your stores near you? I've never seen that in Chicago. That was the only thing I found. Like, it's release weekend. John and I, you can go back and listen to that episode. We staked out our whole region. I was the only one to find anything that day, and that was in one Walmart. I found a super case of them and got John and I one. But that I may have seen one since then, but I already got them like that weekend, so I haven't really.
Yeah, I've seen one since then in my Walmart, but I left it there.
All right, that's that. We are well over our kind of set hour here. Just a quick talk about the revealing, and this was like one of the main things I thought we were going to talk about this week, but there's just so much happening, which is fine. That's cool. Let's just do screen 1 here. Let's go. Where is it at? Insta. Yes. The reveal of the next wave of TMNT Ultimates from Super7, and like, this Muckman looks amazing.
He does. He towers over everyone else, and his knees are bent.
It looks incredible. And Casey Jones is my favorite vintage TMNT figure, my favorite TMNT character. And honestly, I think he's the 4th coolest out of all of these figures. That's how good this Mondo Gecko looks. I love Donatello, but that Muckman, that could be a figure of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Every detail is painted. Like, it is unreal.
I haven't collected any of these yet. I haven't bought any, but I'm thinking like I just want to buy the characters I like. I don't need to be a completist with this series, and I don't even need all the turtles themselves, because it seems like, to me, a lot of the secondary characters are too good to pass up. Like that Muckman. I cannot wait for Mutagen Man.
Yes.
And even when I was into turtles when I was a kid, I liked like Ground Chuck was one of my favorite figures.
Yes, Ground Chuck. They did have really good one-off characters.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, the Donnie. So that's the last of the main 4 turtles. He looks great. The Casey Jones looks all right. The head sculpt, to me, I didn't like the way the kind of curve here is on the top, but it has grown on me. But again, he looks really good. But yeah, the Muckman just looks amazing. And it's the 4 horsemen, so they always do really well with the monsters,
Yeah.
It's
funny. His cannon thing looks it looks identical to the original.
I know. And look, they have these extra hands with like a little bit of slime in there and stuff like that. Oh, it's so cool. I
wonder if his top hat piece comes off to pour slime.
It has to, right?
Yeah, they would. I mean, it would be a shame not to, having the hole in his belly.
Like, I'm so pumped about that. And then yeah, Mondo Gecko again looks like 2 different head sculpts, the skateboard, bunch of different hands. Yeah, I pre-ordered the first wave and second wave. I got those. And then our buddy James, he has a wholesale kind of deal with some Super 7 stuff. So we split a shipper, or like a full shipper box of the 3rd wave. That is Mikey and blanking out the others off the top of my head. And now this one. So I'm definitely going to get this. And honestly, this might be the last one where I get all 4, mainly because Casey's my favorite. Got all 4 turtles now. Have a Mutagen Man. Have a Muck Man. Mondo Gecko. Like, I have just about everybody that I would. Because for me, love turtles. It was my second favorite to Ghostbusters as a kid. But it was a really steep fall off. Like maybe after 1990, 1991, like I just stopped buying the toys, and I don't have as much affinity for the later stuff. Like I don't care about Scratch and all that kind of stuff. Like just doesn't. So for me, it's really at 88, 89, 90, 91, and then it's just like I'm good. I'm not a completist. But yeah, no, I'm really stoked about it. I think they look great. And and another quick thing here, they're doing more at HomaCon. So this must, again, to your point, it must be what they had planned for New York Comic-Con.
Yep.
But they're still at HomaCon. For Comic-Con, it was San Diego, or stay at HomaCon. But this Child's Play reaction figure looks great. The Atom Bomb reaction figure looks awesome. Like, I kind of want that one. And then this SpongeBob reaction set looks really cool. So the figures it looks like a Krusty Krab kind of Happy Meal kind of deal. And the figures look really cool. And it may just because my boys have gotten really into SpongeBob that I'm watching it more. I'm just like, I've always liked SpongeBob, but I haven't watched it since my camp counselor days. But it's a really fun show. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll get that. But anyway, so definitely check that out on super7.com. They're doing great stuff. But God, that Muck Man. I can't wait for it. I can't wait.
It's like he towers over the turtle. It amazes me how, the size of him.
Yeah. Well, again, they've done that before. Like is it Rocksteady? Yeah, it's Rocksteady. He's huge compared to the turtles. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah. And and the turtles themselves are they a 7-inch figure?
They're a 7-inch figure. But true to the toy line, I think they're like 6.5 inches because they were shorter. They're shorter in real life. They're 3.5 feet or 4 feet tall or something like that. So I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of that Rocksteady. He is huge comparatively. Yeah, I may have passed it, not even seen it. But anyway. Yeah, there's no picture. They really, no offense, Super7, but you need to do a better job of your social media because it doesn't really track as well too. Anyways, that's that. Great stuff, Super7. Good job. And yeah, that's it. Anything else, John? Big week. Woo. I kind of felt like we get a little breather after, we did PulseCon, which was great, and then we had Scott Knightlicker after that, and there's like, no, Castle Grayskull, go.
I know what's going to show up on like Wednesday,
right? All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Toy Geeks. Again, we record these live every Sunday at 9:00 on this channel, youtube.com/geekdadlife. We also post audio versions of the show on podcasts, wherever podcasts are sold for free. And thank you for everybody in the chat, everybody that watches lives and participates. And we will see you all next Sunday. But we might have a special episode in between. We'll see. Or maybe we'll just save it for next. Now, maybe, who knows? We'll see how it goes. But anyways, John, any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. Well, that'll do it. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.